So well, participants, again today we have come back to the field of research. Few days back we had the discussion on the necessary preconditions of hypothesis formulation. This is class number 27. And we had the discussion concerning to the necessary preconditions of hypothesis formulations in class number 26. Well, participant friends, here in this class we are to discuss about research design, which is one of the very important, parts of the process of research. Basically, when you are to apply for entry into or for getting admission in research course, you are to present your research synopsis so much well, where you are to highlight or specify the design of your research. And without knowing about research design, it gets difficult to carry on research activities in any field or in all fields, maybe in the field of arts, or humanities, on social sciences, and in the field of science as well as in the field of commerce. Well, let us discuss it. And for discussing research design, it will be better to know something well, so much well, concerning to the meaning of the term design. This is the term which basically is used in various sectors or in various steps of our day-to-day life. And design basically means a decorative pattern, a drawing. In other sense, it is a plan or drawing produced to show the appearance and working of something before it is made. Suppose before building a house or building a building, you are to prepare the design with the help of the engineer or the architect. Like that, before doing research, you are to prepare the design so much well so that within the stipulated time period you can complete your research work without, facing much trouble. So friends, research design means design or drawing or decorative pattern of your research problem or your research area or your research title or your research work. Let us see the next slide. Research design simply means a decorative pattern of research, maybe in social sciences and humanities, maybe in the field of science, maybe in the field of commerce. And research design expresses a clear picture of various parts of a research problem which is undertaken for doing research or for conducting research by the research fellow or by the researcher. Let us see the next one. A research design generally includes the most appropriate methods or techniques about which we have discussed in detail in our earlier classes that are to be applied or followed to solve a particular research problem which is being selected by you as a researcher. Let us see the next one. Research design has very important roles in any process of research, maybe in social science and humanities, maybe in the field of science, as well as in the field of commerce and in other areas of our life. An appropriate and sound research design helps the researcher or research fellow to reach his or her destination, means target, without any problem or without problem. Parallel to the indicated means parallel to the specified explanations. An inappropriate research design, an incorrect research design, unscientific research design creates many problems and fails to give proper direction to a particular research study. On the researcher, you see, during the time of his or her research activity or research work, faces or bound to face many problems or much troubles. It is not easy to give a clear picture of a common workable research design because you see, friends, why? You see, various families do have various buildings. Various families do have various house complex, and we see differences in every building, in every house complex. Why? Because the design and the decoration of house or the campus basically has connectivity with the artistic view of the owner. And like this, in the field of research, it is very much difficult, means not so much easy to help you get one common research design. It depends on the capabilities of the researcher. At the same time, it depends on the guidance of the research supervisor. So friends, research, as you know so much well, is very complex, scientific and technical academic process and academic activity, and as such, during the time of designing the research work, the researcher must have to have some specific experiences as well as academic potentialities. Research design varies from situation to situation, from fields to fields. The type of research problem generally determines the design of research which are being selected by the researchers. Let us see the next. Research studies are basically categorized, this is very important, in two categories. That is empirical research and analytical research in broad categories. These are the two broad categories. One is empirical research type of research, another is analytical type of research. The empirical type of research is generally based on observation, means it is to some extent, it demands scientific, you see, scientific application or following the scientific procedures or experience rather than theory or logic, which has special importance in other type of research. Let us see the next one. This type of research means empirical studies. This type of research studies fall under the category of experimental research or scientific research. And hence, friends, empirical studies are conducted in the science and science type subjects. Means basically experimental research, when the issue comes about which we had discussed in detail in our earlier classes, you see it has link with scientific study, or in science type research this procedure is to be followed, and this research knowledge of this type of research is special importance. On the other hand, the term once we discuss about the another category, that is analytical research, means having to do with analysis of data. Let us see the next one. This way, analytical types of studies are mainly concerned with analysis of basic or primary and secondary data, which basically we do in the field of arts and humanities and social sciences. In a sense, analytical type of studies are also called as literary studies, particularly in the field of philosophy and in literature in other areas. Such types of studies are conducted in arts and humanities, that is, studies concerned with human culture such as literature or history. Means we had discussion about qualitative research methodology. At the same time we discuss about quantitative research, and now today we have found two categories. One is empirical research, another is analytical research. Empirical research has the concern of the field in the field of science or in scientific studies, whereas analytical research has the concern with the studies in the field of social sciences and humanities, particularly in the field of literature and history. Let us see the next one. For both the categories, that is empirical as well as analytical research, that is empirical and analytical research, research design may be prepared keeping in mind some common elements. Though there are differences in approaches, still we can find some common elements when we study various designs which have already been prepared for the conduction of different researches by the researchers. In short or in brief, some elements of research design are common in both the categories, that is, you see, empirical and analytical of research. Let us see the next one. These are the common elements. Above all the elements which have been specified here, we are to know about the other elements. The statement of hypotheses are very much important. The statement of hypotheses should be there in the research design. The statement of assumptions, in other terms, sometimes in place of hypotheses, the term assumptions or the term research questions, you see, those are basically the terms research questions or research assumptions or hypotheses are used, and in the research design these are to be specified. Next is the statement of the limitations of the study, because your study is to be conducted with the given time frame. You never can continue your research, you see, during the whole course of your life. You are to complete your work within specific time period by considering your academic demand or other demands, and that's why limitations are to be specified, means you are to delimit the problem area. Thenceforth, definition of important terms of the title or of the whole course of research, so that the other persons who will study the research work, they can understand so much well in what sense you have used various terms in your own research field. Let us see the next one. Appropriateness of research design, that is very much important. If research design is not appropriate for your own study, then you are to face many problems, and that is to be specified in proper way before starting to continue the process of research. Description of population and sample, that is very much important, because in empirical research and database research, the term population has special significance of meaning, and sample has also very important meaning, and that's why in database research we must have to explain about the population of your study or of our study, and at the same time we are to specify about the sample. The control of error is very much important in the field of research, and there is a special procedure how we are to control the error in the whole process, because if the error is not controlled, then in the process of data analysis as well as interpretation, many problems may occur, or there is the possibility of occurring various problems, and that's why there should be the specification concerning to the control of error in the research design, about which we are to discuss in detail in later stage. Last one is reliability and validity. These are the two very important terms which have, for understanding which you are to study, or you must have to have knowledge of statistics. There should be reliability and validity, means you are to validate your research result, and you are to and certain or make certain the reliability parameter of your study. So friends, maybe empirical study or maybe an analytical study, whatever it may be in the field of science or in the field of social sciences or in humanities and arts, we are to prepare the research design so much well before going to start our research work, and these are the common elements which are to be covered in your research design. Thank you so much for today.